I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Friday, the fight begins.
I'm taking command of your prison.
Like hell you are. Robert Redford, James Gandolfini, The Last Castle, rated R, starts this Friday.
Hey, this is Matt once again, and welcome back to another review. This is a review for Albin. Thank you so much for that. It's a paid request. If anyone ever wants to request pretty much any type of video, you'd either do so, send the request directly to my PayPal or join me on my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. If not, no worries, but if so, thank you so much. But this one is for a film called The Last Castle, which I had heard of, but I had not seen. Maybe bits and pieces, but not all the way through. My first inclination of this movie was, believe it or not, back in the day, if I can find it, I'm going to put it on. It was a TV spot where it was to this song called Poison Well. This is my life, this is my hell, na 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 na, did the poison well. It definitely makes it look like more of an action film than it is, but I always loved that song, and I'm like, okay, what is this movie? Never got around to check it out. But this is a prison film starring Robert Redford. You also have James Gandolfini, Mark Ruffalo, and I was quite surprised by this film. I was quite surprised by it. It pulled me in. It got me interested in the story, got me interested into seeing what was going to happen next. Maybe because I thought the actors did their jobs well. Robert Redford, he's not a guy I seek out his movies, but stuff I found him in. For example, All the President's Men, I really enjoy. He was really good in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And even films I don't like, The Clearing, for example. I wouldn't say Robert Redford was bad in it, so I thought he did a good job in this. Who is a general who is brought to a maximum security military prison. And the people there, they know who this guy is. They know who Redford is. They not only, I don't want to say appreciate, but they respect this character. Including James Gandolfini from The Sopranos, may he rest in peace, who plays the warden of this prison. And he respects and admires Redford's character. In fact, he's trying to be very nice and courteous, but then you get the idea that James Gandolfini's character has not actually seen combat, so he may think he's this big military guy, he knows all the ins and outs. He truly doesn't, and he kind of overhears Redford kind of making fun of that, so that brings Gandolfini less and less admiration for Robert Redford's character. And I just thought it was a well-shot film. The cinematography, the usage of the widescreen of this prison, aka castle. Mark Ruffalo is a guy who makes bets and people always call him a snitch, and he'll get you what you need, and he's a guy that you don't trust at first, but then that gets better along the way. And we're trying to get to know these characters within this prison, like this stuttering guy, and like all these characters that used to be something. They used to be soldiers. They used to have this life where they were proud of their country, and life of, I don't want to say privilege, but they felt privileged to be part of Marines or Army or whatever, whichever one they were at, whichever one they were partaking in. And you see Redford's character kind of building that up into these men. Now, a case could be made that Robert Redford is manipulating them as much as James Gandolfini is. That maybe Robert Redford is inadvertently manipulating these people into doing what he wants. As Mark Ruffalo says, uses them as pawns in this big chess game that he has with James Gandolfini's character. So maybe that'll be up to the viewer, but I kind of got what Robert Redford and them were going for, where, yeah, these men have done bad things, but you know what? They've served their country, and despite what Gandolfini and these guys want to tell them, they are still soldiers at the end of the day, so it gives them a sense of proud stature, sense of pride. Offer them self-respect, although James Gandolfini says that self-respect in exchange for obedience. So even that's how Gandolfini sees it. And Robert Redford starts seeing the bad things going on, where the guys would be told to build this wall, and Gandolfini will just break it down, send someone with construction vehicles to break it down. Or they'll shoot these rubber bullets, and one of them goes into a prisoner's head and kills him. Because, yeah, it's a rubber bullet, but if you get hit in the head with one of those, it's going to fuck up your day. And it does to someone here. And as Robert Redford says, you know what, you're a disgrace to uniform. They want your resignation. I thought Robert Redford and James Gandolfini played off each other very well. Just James Gandolfini, I didn't see as a one-note villain in a weird way. I mean, I could kind of understand what Gandolfini's point of view was, where he even states, hey, these guys are prisoners, and you should see the rap sheets on these guys, and yes, he's going at it the wrong way, but I could kind of see Gandolfini's point of view. Oh, Delroy Lindo's in the film as an old friend of Robert Redford. And pretty much seeing this chess plan take place where, and yeah, this is where you kind of wonder how certain things happen, because they start taking over the prison, which was a entertaining second half of the movie. I'm taking command of your prison, like hell you are. And they'll fire at the towers. They have these homemade little rocket launchers that will launch these tubes or gas tanks. These I don't want to say plates, but the stuff for shields, for the guards' batons. They've made this catapult for these rocks to hit James Gandolfini, like where he's at, and the glass of the area that he's at. A plan to get the water cannon, shut it off, get it from the guards, shoot it up again. A really good set piece where Mark Ruffalo gets a helicopter, and there's this asshole shooting live rounds, and he moves the tail rotor, fucks everything up, and well done. Like, it looks like a real helicopter crash, rolling. I mean, done practical, crash and rolls. I mean, very done for real, done practical, and well filmed. I mean, funny enough, I believe the director before this had done The Contender, which was I want to say it was a political film that was nominated for a bunch of awards and so forth. Although, I think this is the guy that we're going to do the Straw Dogs remake. I could be wrong on that. If so, yeah, that's a step down. But I got really into this film. I got invested in this movie more so than I thought. And yeah, you're wondering how the fuck did they get this equipment? How the fuck did they get these shields for the guards? How the fuck were they able to make these catapults without any of the damn guards noticing? And that's true. Like, how would they get all this shit? How would they make all this shit but none of the guards notice? So there's some suspension of disbelief there, to be fair. It's a tad too long. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes. I don't think it needed to be that long. But it's a fairly solid prison drama. And the second half is an action movie, to be honest. I said at the beginning, well, it's not a full-out action movie, but there's quite a bit of action in the second half. Just not action in a body count sort of way, but with water hoses and helicopters and such. Definitely some money spent on this, and it did not do well at all. This was a box office bomb. And the ending, I kind of got what was going on, and so I was fine with it. It's not what I would have chosen, but I was fine with the ending. I'll put it that way. Yeah, I think if you like prison films and you want to see something a little bit different, this is more of a military prison, and mainly this big chess mind battle between Robert Redford and James Gandolfini. And I thought they both worked off each other fairly well. Mark Ruffalo, interesting to see him before the Marvel, Hulk, all that stuff. He did fairly good. Delroy Lindo, good actor. Nice to see him in there. I don't recognize the other folks in it. And like I said, there may be people that say, okay, this movie's not realistic, or... And that's true, and it's a little bit too long, and that's true, but fairly good, competently made movie. Good looking film. You know, to showcase these men, give them a little bit of self-respect and pride and fairness. Because that's really what these prisoners want, is a certain bit of fairness. And granted, there's the part of me that's like, well, they're prisoners, they're prison for a reason. Do they deserve fairness? That's what James Gandolfini said. I kind of understood both frames of mind in a weird way, but ultimately I did understand what Robert Redford was saying and doing more so. But yeah, The Last Castle, I don't want to give everything away. I think it's worth a watch. I mean, I was quite surprised by it. It drew me in more than I thought. Because I'm like, okay, Robert Redford, he's a good actor, but he's, like I said, but he pulled me in, the story pulled me in, James Gandolfini pulled me in order to see what would happen next and how this battle of wills would escalate. It worked out pretty damn good. And I know this got bad reviews from critics, but I think it has like a 7.7 on IMDb, so I guess I'm not the only one that was surprised by the film. Pretty good flick. Pretty good flick. So, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.